2024 GMC Sierra AT4X HD, 2024 Chevrolet Silverado ZR2 HD, plus when can we order these new HDs anyway? This is what we're going to talk about today. So with that, let's get going. All right, so needless to say, I think the new changes they've done with the 2024 GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverado HDs have been fantastic, and the reception seems to have been great. I was fortunate enough to actually go to a secret location in Detroit to see the GMC Sierra HD before its reveal and do some content on it. And likewise, I was able to go to Texas and see the Chevrolet Silverado HD in the flesh. And I got to say, I'm very impressed. Of course, I've been around all the other trucks, the 2023s and prior, and the 2024s. I really like the changes they've done. And if you didn't know this, before we get into the content of the ZR2 and the AT4X HDs say, very, very quickly, obviously some of the new changes are, of course, they changed the Duramax engine a bit. So we got some more horsepower there, 470 horsepower, 975 foot-pound of torque. So, I know a lot of you are looking for massive numbers, over 1,000 pound-feet of torque, pardon me. But I think what GMC and Chevrolet really did was they concentrated on making it usable power for the majority of us who aren't pulling the Queen Mary. And that's actually coming with the tune of 25% more low-end torque, which again is kind of what we're after, right? I mean, most of us, that are towing aren't towing to its absolute maximum capacity. We're towing something larger than a half-ton could pull. But we want to be able to do it, in a fashion that, is usable, right? So that's the first thing, of course, that they did. Of course, they've added the 10-speed transmission under the Allison name to the 6.6-liter gas. So that's a good improvement there as well. So from a performance aspect, we see some differences there. And then, of course, we have an exterior difference in terms of the front end. More so the front end, a little bit of the taillights, the side of the truck, the back of the truck, everything for that. Most of that part remains the same, other than some badging on the GMC on the side. But the front end, of course, new grills, new headlights. I know that a lot of you probably like maybe the introduction of a new front end for the Chevrolet. It was polarizing. Some of you loved it, some of you hated it. I liked it, but all that being said, I really like the style of the new one. And from what I've read in comments on my Instagram and here, a lot of you are seeming to like the new Chevy front end as well. And of course, GMC hit out of the park as well. So not only that, of course, we have the new interior, which many and most of us have been clamoring for. Now, one of the comments I want to talk about very quickly that I get over and over and over and over and over and over again, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or here, is why did they go with a panel roof? There's no panel roof on this thing. Well, here's the thing. This is what they call a refresh. These 2024s are a refresh, although they did a lot of stuff to it. It's not an overall overhaul of these trucks. So that means that the roof line and stuff isn't changing. So there's no way they're going to re-engineer that whole roof line in order to put a new sunroof in. Obviously, the next generation of truck, then I think we can complain, or those of you can complain about not having it. I'm not a big sunroof guy, so it doesn't really affect me one way or the other. It would look cool, of course, but that's the reasoning for that. But the rest of the interior is new right off, what we've seen on the half tons coming out in 2022 with, the large 13.4-inch color touchscreen and the programmable 12-inch screen in front of the driver, all fully digital, and, the new shifter. Sorry, no, there is no shifter, right? Because they stuck with, and a smart thing I think that GM and Chevrolet did was they stuck with the column shifter. So the column shifter stays even when you have the bucket seats, unlike the half-ton truck. So you're not getting that electric shifter, which I think is a lot better for plowing and things like that. When talking to GM, that's kind of one of the things they said is it's just more usable for what your average, 3/4 ton, HD truck driver buyer is using. So they stuck with that. But the rest of the interior is different. And then, of course, obviously, we've added some new models, and that goes unsaid because, of course, we have in the Chevrolet, we have the new High Country Midnight Edition, which I think is fantastic. Now you can get a high-end truck, which is monochromatic. You're not having all the chrome, right? So you have black wheels, black front end, black badging, all blacked out. I think it looks great in a high-end truck, but not having to have the chrome. And then speaking of wheels, a moment ago, the cool part is now the wheels, there's an option for a 22-inch wheel. So again, if you're not a huge hauler with these, but you want a nice big truck and you want some nice looking wheels, they're going to offer those 22-inch wheels as an accessory as well. But then, so that's that one there. And then, of course, the Denali Ultimate, which, again, I saw that one in Detroit and it blew my socks off. I thought I liked it. I thought I liked it in the half-ton. I thought I liked it in the Yukon Denali Ultimate. But the new Denali Ultimate HD is phenomenal. If you didn't already know this, it is available, and it's going to be available in the 3500 and in the 3500 dually as well. So That's going to be an expensive truck, a 3500 dually Denali Ultimate. I mean, just the name of it's long enough. But but all that being said, there's two other models that they talked about that they have yet to release, and those are off-roaders. You know, we saw the introduction of the AT4X and the ZR2 in the new refreshed half-ton trucks, and we are going to be seeing those in the HD trucks, and I'm very excited to share a little bit that I kind of know about them so far. I also want to talk about, too, when we can order these, so I'm going to talk about that here in a second as well. But the AT4X and ZR2, from what I've learned so far, are really going to be, you know, again, what we kind of thought, but a bit of a copy of what we're seeing in the half-ton truck. So obviously, I think we're going to have more aggressive front ends on both of them in terms of the front bumper. So we're going to have a more high-cut bumper in the front for better ground clearance. We're going to have the Multimatic DSSV suspension there as well. Now, these are seen from spy photos. I can't share them on here. I learned a lesson, unfortunately, last year about even giving websites credit and sharing the photos. Photographers don't really like that, and unless you pay them a lot of money for it. So unfortunately, I have to be very careful with that. But the spy photos I've seen, I've shown the Multimatic DSSV suspension, the front cut-up bumper. Of course, these trucks have been camouflaged, but it's pretty easy to read through now that we've seen the new ones. Interior-wise, I think, again, we're going to see very much probably the same, like, you know, maybe the gray with yellow stitching like we see the ZR2 half-ton, the Obsidian Rush with ceramic white and the red trim in the AT4X. You know, the rest of the interior is probably going to remain, you know, fairly similar. Probably maybe it'd be kind of cool if we could see some massaging seats in the AT4X like we're seeing the Denali Ultimate GMC-wise. So that's some of the differences there. The only thing we can't see from obviously exterior pictures is the fact that I would surmise it's probably going to have the front and rear locking and unlocking differential, which is pretty exciting in a 3/4 ton truck for those who want to go off-roading. And the big thing that is being seen on the exterior is 35-inch tires now on the outside. Goodyear Wrangler Territory MT, which I think they've had a lot of good luck with. They just transitioned the AT4X half-ton over that for 2023. We see the ZR2 had been using them. Now we're just getting into a bigger tire for the HD, so the Goodyear Wrangler Territory MT. Kind of hard to tell what the wheels look like because they're camouflaged, but they look like they're going to be, you know, a spoke wheel of some kind. So, you know, that's the majority of the changes that we're seeing on that truck from, you know, what the photos are allowing. So, of course, as soon as I know any more about that, I'll be letting you know the exact details. But, you know, that's pretty exciting stuff on that end. Now, as far as when you're able to, you know, order these, today, as I film this, or this evening as I'm filming this, is January 11th of 2023. Tomorrow, dealers are able to start building and ordering these trucks, and GM will start seeing these orders January 19th. So probably you're watching this video on the 12th. Today is when you can actually talk to your dealer about ordering these trucks. Now, the AT4X and ZR2, which I just spoke about, they will not be able to be ordered, of course, until later in the year. Of course, we can't order them tomorrow when we don't even know what they are 100% yet, right? So those are things that will be coming out. By the way, backing up, just one more thing I almost forgot about when it comes to the ZR2 and the AT4X. The one thing I didn't mention was the fact that it's hard to tell in the pictures, but it almost looked to me like it was sitting a little bit higher. Maybe it's just because of the way the bumper was cut up. Maybe it's the bigger tires. I mean, these trucks already sit high enough, right? So your AT4X and ZR2 half-ton have always had that 2-inch lift, but the AT4 did too, and so did the Trail Boss. But we never saw an AT4 lift on the HD. I'm very curious to see if we're going to see that in the AT4X or the ZR2, something to wonder about. But I think that's going to make that a very tall truck if that were the case. That's the information I know so far on this HD update. You know that as soon as I know anything more than that, I will be telling you on this channel or on my Instagram or on my Facebook, wherever it is you follow me aside from here. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care.